Yeah. Welcome, Elsa. We're just starting. You just got here in time. Okay, so let's come down to the mat and we'll start off today in child's pose. So having your knees wide apart and your feet together, and walk your hands forward and bring your forehead down towards the mat, and maybe just rock your hips from side to side a little bit to settle into the pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming to yoga today. So we'll raise our own vibration and everybody around us. So we've recently had a full moon, so we might focus on the full moon energy today in our yoga practice. Let's take 4 more deep breaths here. And as you exhale, try and surrender into the pose and bring your forehead a little closer to the mat. Connecting with the stretch through the lower back and the hips and the shoulders. Two more breaths. And then coming up to tabletop. And let's do a few cat-cows to warm up our backs. As you inhale, lift your chest and raise your gaze. And as you exhale, tuck in your chin and lift your spine up towards the ceiling and feeling the stretch through the shoulders. And inhale as you lift your chest up again. Nice curve in the back. Just continue on with a few more rounds. Thinking about the spaces in between your vertebrae, opening them up and stretching your spine a little bit. And on your next exhalation, bring your buttocks down to your heels into child's pose. And as you inhale, walk your hands a little forward and bring your hips forward into an upward dog. And as you exhale, back to child's pose. So do a few more rounds of this one. So gradually increasing the movement, connecting with the stretch through the front of the hips and through the lower back. Inhale back to upward dog. And exhale to child's pose. Coming back to the center, and we'll do some work on our shoulders, bringing the right hand towards the center of the mat. We're going to inhale, lift up the left hand, opening up through the chest, looking up to the left thumb, and exhale, thread the left hand under the right and take your right hand forward to thread the needle, bringing your left ear and shoulder down towards the mat and taking 4 nice long deep breaths, and notice the stretch through the left scapula. And last breath. And as you inhale, come back up to tabletop. And this time, move the left hand towards the center of the mat. Inhale, lift up the right hand, gaze up to the right thumb, open through the chest, and then exhale, bring the left hand under the right and slide the left hand forward. Coming down with your right ear and shoulder towards the mat. Let's take 4 deep breaths here and feel the right scapula nicely stretched. And inhale, come back up to tabletop. And we'll tuck our toes under. And as we exhale, we're going to lift up our hips into your first downward dog for the practice. Pressing your heels towards the mat and nod your chin in so your crown of your head is pointing to the mat. Let's take 4 deep breaths here and thinking about the full moon energy. The full moon is a celebration of the moon cycle. So this is when we celebrate all the things that we've manifested in the last 30 days or so. So thinking about what you've achieved, what's shifted for you. And now's the time to start thinking about what seeds you want to plant for the next moon cycle, things you want to bring into your life. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to inhale, bring our knees down to the mat, walk our hands a little bit forward and come into an upward dog. Feel the stretch through the hips. And then exhale, slide the hands back a little bit and come into downward dog. Let's move through that cycle a couple more times. And then last time. So inhale as you bring your knees down to the mat, lifting up the chest. And then come back to center. And we're going to do a lizard pose today. So the lizard pose is great to stretch through the hip area. So I'm just changing my position. So have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And we're going to bring the right foot up next to the right hand. I'll show you how that looks side on. So you've then bringing your hip forward, feeling a nice stretch through the left hip. That's it. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then return your right knee next to the left knee. And we'll move the left foot outside the left hand. And then take the hip forward a little bit. And noticing the stretch through the right hip this time. One more breath. And then bring your left knee next to the right. And let's take it back to child's pose. And just come back to setting the theme for your practice, whatever you want to celebrate or what seeds you want to plant for the next moon cycle. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. And then coming up to tabletop, tucking your toes under and come into downward dog, pressing your heels towards the mat, and then walking your feet nice and wide and walk your hands up underneath you so you come into a wide-legged forward bend. Allow the crown of your head to point down to the mat. And just take a few nice breaths here. Notice the outside edge of your feet where most of the weight is. And notice the stretch through the hamstrings and the lower back. Let's take 4 more breaths. And then walking your hands forward, raising your chest and stretching through the back. And then heel toe your feet a little closer and slowly come up to standing, stacking the bones on top of each other. And then give your legs and arms a little shake. Let's give it a nice shake. And let's come to standing. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up over our head and connect the fingers, and exhale, stretching to one side. Inhale to the center and exhale to the other side. So a couple more rounds. Let's go one more each side. And then release your hands. Give your shoulders a little roll backwards. And then back the other way. And come to the back of the mat for our warrior sequence. So we're going to turn our left foot out slightly, step forward with the right foot, bending the right knee, inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze, reach up to the sky like you're holding a beach ball, gazing up as well, and feel the stretch through the left hip. Let's take a few deep breaths here, keeping it nice and strong through the right knee. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, bring your hands forward and down behind you, lengthening out the right leg, clasping your hands behind you, lifting up the hands off the lower back and lifting your chest into humble warrior. Feeling that nice stretch through the right hamstring and through the shoulders. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then releasing your hands down to the mat. If you have a block handy, you can place your right hand on the block and inhale, lift up the left hand, gazing up to the left thumb into triangle pose. Let's take 4 breaths here. And then on the exhalation, bring the left hand down to the mat. And inhale, slowly come up to standing and come to the back of the mat. Give your legs a little shake. Then we'll go to the other side. So right foot slightly out, standing at the back of the mat. Step forward with the left foot. As you inhale, bending through the left knee and bring your arms up above your head, lifting up a beach ball and feeling that stretch through the right hip this time. Taking 4 nice deep breaths here. Left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Last inhalation. And then as you exhale, bringing your hands forward, lengthening up the left leg. Hands behind your back, clasping them, lifting up through the chest, lifting the hands off the lower back. And the left leg is fairly straight. So feeling it through the left hamstring, through the shoulders. Take a couple more breaths. And then releasing your hands down to the mat. Place the left hand next to the left foot. If you have a block, place it on a block. Inhale, lift up the right hand and gazing up to the right thumb. So feel the stretch through the chest and through the left hamstring. Let's take 4 breaths here. And next exhalation, bring the right hand down and then slowly come back up to standing. And just facing forward with your feet nice and wide on the mat. Heel toe your feet as wide as is comfortable. And then we're going to inhale, lift our arms up. Stretching up towards the ceiling and exhale, folding forward, sliding your hands down your legs and bring your hands down to the mat underneath you. Heel toe a little bit wider and placing the crown of your head, have that facing down towards the mat. You can even put your head on the block if you want, in the lengthways, or depending how flexible you are, you might be able to put it on sideways. Let's take 4 nice long deep breaths here, just relaxing into the inversion and connecting with the stretch through the legs, opening up through the spine. Inversions are great for your lymphatic system and your circulatory system and for your immunity. And then slowly lifting up through the chest, walking your hands forward, stretching through the back. Taking a few breaths here and then heel toe your feet a little closer together and coming down to the mat. So sitting on your base with your feet out in front, Just lifting up your hips so that you're up on your sit bones. And we're going to inhale, stretching up, and exhale, fold forward. And bring your fingertips down to your toes or your ankles or your shins, gazing towards your toes. I invite you to close your eyes and just take a few breaths and notice the stretch through the hamstrings, lower back and shoulders. One more breath. And then release your hands and come back up. Nice and tall through the spine. We're going to bend our left knee and bring the left sole of your foot next to the right inner thigh. Flexing the right foot. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold forward. So connecting your fingers to your toes or your ankle or your shins on the right leg. Gazing towards the right big toe. And just take a few breaths here. And notice the stretch through the left glute and the left ITB, as well as the right hamstring. One more breath. And then release. Bring the left foot out in front and bend the right knee. Bring the right sole of your foot inside the left inner thigh and then lift up so you're on your sit bones. Inhale, lift your arms, and exhale, fold forward. Just notice how this side feels compared to the other one. It might be a little bit more flexible or a little bit less flexible. Taking a few breaths here. One more deep breath. And then release. Bring both legs out in front. Come up on your sit bones again. Inhale, lift your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. And notice you should be a little more flexible this time. Let's take 4 deep breaths here, gazing towards your big toes. And come back to the theme of your practice. And then release your hands, come back up to sitting. And this time we're going to pick up our left leg and bring our foot over the right outside of the right leg and place our right hand on our left knee and our left hand behind us. And we're going to twist around, drawing the knee towards us and looking over our left shoulder. It's a nice twist through the lower spine. Take a couple more breaths here. And then release and swap your legs over. This time left hand on the right knee, right hand behind the middle of your back, and twist around to the right side, looking over the right shoulder as you draw the right knee towards the left side of your body. So nice stretch and twist through the lower spine. Two more breaths. And then release. And this time we're going to bring our feet, soles of our feet together and bring them as close as you can to your base and bring your hands, your fingers underneath your toes and allow your knees to fall out to the side. So you're getting a nice stretch through the inner thigh and lifting up through the chest. Let's take 4 breaths. I invite you to close your eyes. Come back to the theme of your practice, that seed that you've planted or that thing you're celebrating. Two more breaths here. And then release your hands from your feet. Bring your feet out in front of you. Give your legs a little shake. And come onto your back and hug your knees up to your chest. And you might like to roll your hips in a circle. Just rinsing out the back. Go one direction and then the other. And then place the right foot on the ground so the right knee is bent, and bring the left leg in front of the right. We're coming into reverse pigeon, hugging your knees towards your chest. So you might be holding on to the left shin or thread your hands through the gap between the two legs and holding on to the right shin or the right thigh. Relax your upper back and head back down to the mat. And let's just take 4 long, deep breaths here and connect with the stretch through the left glute. So this is a reverse pigeon, and it's great for releasing any tension in the lower back. 2 more deep breaths. And then release the right foot down to the mat. Keep the left leg crossed. Place your right hand on the left knee and draw your knees to the right side as you gaze to the left, and have your left hand straight out from your shoulder. So coming into a twist to the right side of the mat, and the twist is down the left side of your body. Taking 4 deep breaths here, and each time you exhale, allow your body to surrender a bit more into the twist. Try to keep your shoulders on the ground. And then inhale, bring your knees back to center and swap your legs over. So left foot is on the ground, left knee is bent, right knee is bent, and shin is across the front of the left thigh, and hug the knees to the chest. You notice how this side feels compared to the other. It might be a bit stiffer, it might be a bit more flexible. You rock a little bit from side to side, hug the knees into the chest. Taking 4 nice deep breaths here, and connect with the stretch through the right glute. 2 more breaths. And then release that left foot down to the mat. Keep the right leg bent. Place your left hand on your right knee and draw the knees to the left as you gaze to the right. So coming into a twist again, trying to keep your shoulders on the mat. Have the right hand straight out from the right shoulder. I invite you to close your eyes and just come back to your breathing. As you exhale, twist a little more. One more breath. And then hug your knees back to your chest, uncross your legs, come into Asana as we roll in a little circle, releasing any tension in our back. You might rock from side to side or in a circle, whatever feels good for you. And then bring your feet down to the mat, keeping your knees bent, placing the palms of your hands against the mat. As you inhale, I want you to lift up through the hips, nod your chin into your chest, squeeze the buttocks and push through the heels, push through the hands, and then exhale, slowly lower the spine down to the mat. And draw your heels a little closer to your buttocks. Inhale, lift up again, lift up vertebrae by vertebrae. This time you might like to bring your hands underneath you and clasp them and walk your shoulders a little closer together. Let's take 4 deep breaths here as we stretch through the front of our body, through our hips area. And 1 more breath. And then release your hands and slowly lower the spine down to the mat. Hug your knees up to your chest. And rinse out your spine. Then reaching through the inside of the legs to the outside edge of your feet, and lift your soles of your feet up, point them towards the ceiling into happy baby. You can use your elbows to press on the knees a little bit, get a little bit more stretch through that groin area. Let's take 4 breaths here, just relaxing into the pose. You can rock around in a circle or side to side if you wish, or just flatten your back against the mat. And then releasing your feet back down to the mat. And from here, we'll go into our legs up position. So you might like to go next to a wall or a bed or whatever you have in the room, or come into a shoulder stand, whichever works for you today. As you inhale, lifting your feet up. Let's circle our ankles. Give your legs a little shake, just to help activate the lymphatic system. So thinking about all the fluid that's coming down from the feet and ankles, down through the legs to the lymphatic system in the groin area. And let's take our feet out wide. Coming back to your breathing. I invite you to close your eyes, come back to the theme of your practice. And then bending your knees, bring the soles of your feet together like a butterfly. And then lifting your feet back up nice and tall again. So you can keep your feet there, or if you're in a shoulder stand, you can bring the feet over your head towards the floor behind you into plow pose. Releasing your hands to the mat. Just take 4 more breaths here. And then on the next inhalation, slowly lowering the spine down to the mat. Having your knees bent. And then come into a comfortable position for Savasana, and we'll do a little meditation here of loving kindness. So you might have a blanket that you might like to put on yourself to make sure you're nice and warm, or a jacket. It's getting really comfortable. You can have your knees bent if you want to support your lower back. So laying on your back, I invite you to close your eyes and noticing the floor underneath you, supporting you in your practice, noticing the earth's energy. Let your breathing relax. Just let the breath come in and out itself. Soften your scalp and your face, your forehead, temples, eyelids, eyes. Let your eyes sink deep into their sockets. Relax your jaw and let your chin move towards your chest. Soften your cheeks. Let your lips part a little and soften around your mouth. Let your tongue rest comfortably inside your mouth. Imagine that the roof of your mouth is expanding. Swallow and relax. Relax your throat and neck. Let the weight of your head drop down into the support underneath you. Let the relaxation flow down into your shoulders, right down deep inside your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and sigh the breath out through the mouth. Softening more in your shoulders and softening in the chest. The relaxation flows from your shoulders now, down your arms, into your hands and your fingers. Feel your whole body releasing into the floor, giving in to rest. Be aware of your back and feel it being drawn down into the floor as you allow the muscles to sink down. As your breath goes out, keep sinking your back down into the floor. Now with each breath out, keep softening into your abdomen and chest. Be aware of your legs. Feel the large muscles of your thighs becoming heavy, falling down into the floor. The feeling of relaxation flows down through your knees, into your lower legs and into your feet and toes. Now your whole body is relaxed. You've dropped down into a state of deep rest. With each breath, breathe in softly, breathe out patiently. Let the quiet breaths nourish you with their softness and patience. Allow yourself to just be and to feel a sense of openness and spaciousness. As you breathe, be aware of the area of your heart. Open your heart to yourself and gently bring love into your heart for yourself. Make room for yourself and envelope yourself in loving kindness and compassion. Say to yourself, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Picture someone in your life who has truly cared for you. Picture them close in your heart and carefully say to yourself, may they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Allow this loving kindness to expand to everyone in our group. Fill your heart with the energy of the group and your care and kindness, and say to yourself, may they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Now picture someone who you're acquainted with but don't know very well. For instance, someone that you know as a shopkeeper or someone that you encounter regularly. Say to yourself, may they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Picture someone whose personality you find a little challenging. Any negative thoughts may come into your mind are allowed to pass, observed but without interaction. Picture them again and recall your compassion and say to yourself, may they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Now allow your love and kindness to spread to include the entire city that you live in, and imagine expanding it through the whole state, the whole country, the whole world. Slowly envelope the whole world in loving kindness. Slowly and gently let your love spread to all beings everywhere. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Allow yourself to just be and feel a sense of warmth, openness, and spaciousness. Coming back to your breathing, just noticing the rise and fall of your chest. I invite you to keep your eyes closed for a few moments more. When you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. stretching through your arms and your legs. Noticing how you feel, noticing your thoughts. And when you're ready, roll to one side, take a few more breaths, there's no hurry. And when you're ready, coming to a comfortable seated position, or you can stay on your side. Thank you for your beautiful yoga practice today. Let's bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts, to our lips for kind words, and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste.
Thank you, Jen. That was lovely.
Oh, good.
Yes, thank you.